In this program, we're going to see how to handle events which are from text. For example, here what we are going to do is we're going to introduce, have a text box and then retrieve the value from the text box and then how that particular value can be manipulated. Let us see how this can be done. As usual, we have got XML name specifications here from from line number 1 to line number 9. Then 12 and 13 we are introducing or we're including a JavaScript which is called as NoChange.js. Now here, as usual, let us see the two programs which we are going to see here. One is HTML program which is called as NoChange.html. The other one is NoChange.javascript. Now in NoChange.html, we are introducing or we are including NoChange.js, the other JavaScript. Now, as usual, we are going to have a head tag, the body tag, form, action is equal to nil, then give a header, include a table, specify the border. By default, it will be the minimum size. Now, here in this case, one table row is included, table headers, so three columns, then the respective row values. Now, inside the row values, what we are going to do is first column French vanilla, second column its rate, third column we are going to have a text box. So how do we include a text box? Using the input type is equal to text, id is equal to French, size is equal to 2. The same thing we are going to repeat for the next two rows. This is the second row, hazelnut cream, and then the value of that particular cream, again include a text box, and then you're going to have specify the size. Third row, again you're going to have Colombian and then include the text box. Now here you can see the ID for the text box is French, the ID for the second box is hazelnut, the ID for the third box is Colombian. Now once we do this particular thing, we need to remember these IDs. Once these are done, uh, so what we have done here is, before going to the next part, let us have a look at this. Now we have included a table. Inside the table we have included three text boxes. How the those text boxes are included we can see in the output. Now before going to the output, what we can do is, let us go to the next part, have a paragraph. Now two input tags we have specified. Now one is the button, the other one is the text box. Now the value for the button we have given as total cost. On click, when the button is clicked, we are calling a function which is called as compute cost. The second one is, the second input box is text, and then ID we have specified as cost. On focus, in case if the control is focused, if the cursor is focused on that one, it is going to be blurred. Now these two we have included over here. Now here in this particular case, again we have added two more controls. Type is equal to submit, a submit button, and then a reset button. So to refresh, just to refresh, what we have done is we have included a particular table. Inside that one, option for user to enter the values, and then a button. When a button is clicked, what is the name of the button? Total cost. When that button is clicked, a compute cost method is called, which is defined in the JavaScript, that is NoChange.js. We'll come to that later. And then the second text box, now we have included on focus. If the control is focused on here, then this will be blurred. Now we can just check the layout of this particular program as we have done here. Now this is what coffee order form, then product name, price, quantity, now French vanilla, price, and then the text boxes which we have included. One for the French, one for the hazelnut, the third for the Colombian. Then again, this is the button which we have included. The name is total cost, and then the text box which we have included. When it is clicked, it will be blurred. Then we have got two action buttons. One is the submit order, the other one is clear order form. Now before we move on to the JavaScript, we need to remember the names and IDs of the text boxes which we have done, which we have included. Now the first text box ID is French, second text box ID is Hazelnut, the third text box ID is Colombian. Subsequently in the output half, now this is French, this part is French, this is the Hazelnut, and this is the Colombian. Now again here we have included the total cost, this part. Now total cost is associated with this particular button. Then we have got a text box. We included a text box. What is the ID of this particular text box? That is cost. So the ID of this particular text box is cost. Then the two action buttons. One is the submit button, the other one is the reset button. So here are the submit buttons and then the reset buttons. Now what we are going to do is, let us enter the values 1, 2 and 3, the quantities which we have taken. Now what ideally should happen is, the moment we press total cost, you can see here, the moment we click on this particular button, on click, compute cost method is called. Now where is this compute cost method? This is in the JavaScript. Which particular JavaScript? nochange.js. So let us go to the nochange.js. Here is the compute cost method. Now here what we are doing is retrieving the values entered by the user. That is, document, check out this particular line, variable French is equal to document.get element by id French.value. So what this does is, here, yes, gets the value of the text box which is entered using this, which is entered in this particular, say, text box. So here in this particular case, which is the text box, this will be our text box. So whatever the value which is entered here, that will be retrieved by this particular code, that is get element by id and stored in the variable French. Similarly, we are obtaining the value which is entered in this particular id. What is this particular id? Hazelnut, that is this one. So where this is defined, this is the second text box. Now then similarly we are obtaining the third one, that is get element by id Colombian. Now where is Colombian? This particular text box, Colombian. So if we can see it in the output, the third text box is this Colombian. So ideally the values of this French should be 1, Hazelnut should be 2, and then Colombian should be 3, the values which we have entered over here. Now once these values are obtained, what we are going to do is, we are just going to have this one, 4.59 into Colombian. So half this formula is given, 4.59 into Colombian. The Colombian value is 3. Then the second one is Hazelnut into 3.95. What is the value of Hazelnut that we have entered here? That is 2. 2 into 3.95. Then the third one is 3.49 into French. So 3.49 into French, again here, the value of French is 1, that is into 3.49. Now all those things are calculated, where they are stored? They are stored in total cost. Now this is a variable total cost. Now the value of total cost will be stored in this particular variable. What is this variable? Document.get element by id cost.value. Now what is document.get element by id? This particular variable, this particular text box. Now if this is disabled, now I cannot click it over here. So here what we have done is, you can just check out what is the cost of, what is the, which text box's id is cost, this one. So here the value will be entered. So just run this particular variable. We already have entered the value. Let's say total cost is equal to 25.16. So this particular code calculates the value and then displays the value over here.